Can you just talk again for me? I just want to check that.
Sure.
Yep.
Yep.
Audio levels.
Hello.
Good.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good. Chucking the music on. Hey, Ash. Can you let us know if you can hear everything for me, Ash? Music and stuff, because you're always here first, so it's good to test with you. Levels are looking good, so we should be good. Music you cannot. You should. Might be a bit soft. Oh, it's quiet. Okay, I'll turn it up. Here we go. What's with all the party? It's my 6-month streaming anniversary. So it's a party tonight. Hey Chloe, how you going? Please welcome Nate, guys. Hey Mika. I said it again. Mika, how are you? We've got Nate in the building tonight. Asia. It's a 6-month celebration, guys. Hey Kenzie. So good to see you guys here. Thanks for showing up so early. Woo, 6 months. Hey Amberly. Good to see you guys. Detessa, so good to see you. We've got Glow in the building. We've got Brooke here. Bree's here now. What's up? Glow, have you got this 6-month sub badge? I think you do. I think you've got the 6-month sub badge. TLD, thank you so much for the host. Woo! It's a party up in here tonight. Is that Half, what up? Oh my god, Auntie Lil's here. Nate? Oh, I can't hear you now. Why can't I hear you?
I muted my microphone. Auntie Lil.
Auntie Lil's in the building. Oh, thank you so much, TLD. 6 months today. Grace, so good to see you. Oh, good night. Good night, Max. Have a good sleep. Hey, Bronte. Bronte said hello to Nate and Michelle.
Hey, Bronte.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us so quickly. We have a celebration tonight. We've got 6 months anniversary of me streaming. It's actually tomorrow, but I thought I'd start the party early. How are you going, Nate?
I'm good. I just poured myself a glass of wine, so it means you'll get some good stories out of me.
Oh, good. That's what we're here for. What happened to your computer, by the way, that you had to get it fixed? That sucks.
I've been literally bashing the keys so hard that like the R was busting off, the T was busting off, the F wasn't working, and neither was the N. There's a lot of swear words that you can't type out.
Oh my god.
Need those keys.
Kenzie's just redeemed an outfit change. Kenzie, I'm just gonna hold that because I have a really great outfit that I'm gonna change into straight after this interview. So I will redeem that.
You do outfit changes.
Yeah, I do outfit changes based on points. If they've watched for long enough. Oh my god, Jay Dean's in the building. Jay Dean!
Oh, here he is.
Hello. Steph is here as well. Who else have I missed?
I feel like me and JD need to have a photo off, like getting our rig out and just going boob to boob. I'm in, bro.
I love the body positivity and embracing self. It's very
it was a mad shot. Well, both of
it's
us.
great. I love it. Good. Mafia's in the building. What up, Mafia? There's a legend status here tonight, guys. Redeeming pet treats. Who was that? Asia. My pets are not here at the moment. As soon as they come back, I've got the treats ready, so I'll jump to that in a minute. Oh my god, everyone's here. So nice to see you all. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's so great to talk to Nate because, like, I don't know, we don't get to have chats like this usually. It's usually just Nate cracking the whip.
What a whip it is.
Ah, what a whip it is. I'm looking forward to like just going way back and hearing like your bit of your background, sharing it with the peoples, which will be fun.
Sure. Before I share any information, I'd like to share with you guys the fact that I just got my certificate. Dakota is all mine. Dakota, come here. Come say what up to the people. This is what they really came for.
It's 100% what they came for. Oh my god!
That's exactly.
Oh my god! Dakota! Oh my god, little Brit, what up? So good to see you in the chat. Thank you for popping in. And Bronte, absolutely always here for a cake. A celebration cake. Oh my god, I miss her so much. I miss her
she's
so...
the best.
I can't wait
Mum
to see
gave
her.
her such a crazy cut. She's like, it looks like she's lost weight, but just a lot of hair.
Oh my god, Maggie's here and Nicolita are here as well. Oh my god, it's like straight up legend status in the chat. Hi ladies, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is so good to see you all here.
Yes, Auntie Lil, it is.
Yes. Officially now.
Certificate to prove it. It literally came today. So there can be no denying.
When is she dropping her next album? I think she'll be next on your management list, I think. Dakota will be dropping some hot bars. Everyone is here tonight. Nate brings all the girls to the yard, that's for sure. Everybody's here.
Yeah, you know it.
Pedro and Chachi said what's up as well. All the family dogs.
Pedro, Chachi.
My dogs are having dinner, so they're not joining me at the moment for the 6-month streaming celebration. I went out and got, well, actually Jarvis did. Jarvis went out and got celebratory. This is all we could muster up in our lockdown. Grace said her dog Hugo says hello as well. That's cute. Very cute. Anyway, should we have a chat? I'm so excited to talk to you.
Sure.
So good to, I mean, I've known you for so long now, so it's going to be good to like go back and hear the history.
Way back.
Back
into time.
But I'd love you to kind of give everybody a bit of a background into how you got into the music industry, because you were originally a DJ. Mm-hmm. And you have sidestepped into management, and as a lot of the questions that I got were about how you did that, what your interest was in artist management, and but I'd love to hear a bit of your background to start with. Sure.
I mean, so I grew up in Australia, and then I moved to America when I was 14 with my parents. So we moved to Nashville, Tennessee, which is like country and western capital of the world. But while I was there, I kind of got introduced to hip hop and into like scratch DJing and stuff like that. And I was like very, very taken by it. So I started DJing pretty much like the second I saw it live. I was like, I got to do this. So I started DJing, and then I moved. So back then when I was in Nashville, like we would put on rave parties, me and my crew, and it was very like underground there. And as I mentioned, like country and west, like Nashville's country and western capital. So dance parties, you know, house music, hip hop, all that sort of stuff was very frowned upon. So we used to throw these underground rave parties, and so I kind of like got a little bit involved, I guess, in the sort of promotion and event promotion game through that first, and then I moved back to Australia in 1999, and so I was 19 then at the time. And so when I kind of came back, I was like just trying to, I guess, figure out what the scene was like here, because I was so, you know, I left at 14 and I had no idea what was going on in sort of dance music or rap music or anything here in Australia. I was all very America focused. So when I came back, it was like a big learning curve. I had to kind of, you know, figure out how things worked here. And then I think it was like in 2001, I entered a DJ competition called DMC. And at that time, like at the time that I decided to go in it, I was very unprepared, and I'd never been in a battle DJ competition before. But I kind of felt like nobody knew who I was, and so I thought, like, if I go in a DJ competition and I just do something wild, then maybe I'll meet people, and people will, you know, want to book me for club gigs or something like that. So I went into the DJ battle and I set a record on fire, and then scratched with it. So that got me like in the paper and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, it was a successful mission. And then that kind of like kickstarted things. So then I started DJing around town and putting on my own events, stuff like that. And then in maybe like 2004, a rapper was trying to get me to DJ for him, and his name was Phrase. And I ended up hearing his stuff and like being blown away, and I'm like, yeah, I'm down, I want to DJ for you. And back then in Australian rap, it wasn't popular. Hilltop Hoods hadn't blown up, so Australian rap was kind of like a joke for a lot of people. They would kind of laugh at it, and so Phrase couldn't find a manager. Nobody wanted to manage him, and so then he kind of hit me up and was like, would you manage me? You know, you're putting on club nights. You seem to kind of know heaps of people all around the country. And I was so, I believed in him so much that I was like, yeah, I can do this. And so I just like sort of fell into it, and I was not very good, but I had the hustle, and I could like talk my way into kind of any situation. So, I ended up getting him a deal. So he got signed with Universal, and that was like one of the first street rappers ever signed to a major label in Australia, which is a pretty big achievement. And then, yeah, from there I started managing M Phases, and then it spiraled on, and, you know, managed many other people from there. That's kind of the very
broad. I love it. I just want to go back to your DJ. I've got a little video that I want to show, because when you kind of underplayed your DJing abilities, but you were quite a prolific DJ. Like, you did win the DMC champs a couple of times, I believe. So like,
no, never won. But like,
finals,
I won the Red Bull. The Red Bull 3-star Victoria Champs twice, and came second in the teams in Australian Nationals one year. I think third the next year or something like that. Like I really wasn't that. It's nice what you're saying, but like, you know, battle DJing was never like my thing.
Yeah, but you are
like club party DJ.
Yeah, but you definitely are the DJ that knows how to bring the party. Everybody knows that about you.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm just showing. This is a video that you sent through showing your scratchity scratch techniques.
She's so old, but sure.
Mafia said, "Red Bull, I was the judge." There you go.
I know. How's that $50 I gave you?
That's so funny. Jadine's asked you to bring back your Sunday sessions. Oh, you're not doing...
well, for you, Jadine, I will do that. Definitely.
You know who is doing Sunday sessions, though? Mafia's doing Twitch Sunday sessions now. So if anybody wants an amazing Sunday session...
Hell yeah.
Yeah, go follow Mafia. Go Mafia in the chat. Click on that link. Press the follow. She does amazing Sunday sessions, which is, I think, 2 o'clock usually. So
sick. I didn't know. This is fantastic. Excellent.
I did actually tell you, but I think sometimes you ignore my text, so maybe
for good reason.
Ash said that her sessions are so good. Club mattress live from the bedroom. So good. Anyway, we showed some pretty great examples of your scratchity scratch in there, which is pretty good. But I think one of the biggest questions that I get asked is, well, obviously how the whole Ruel thing came about, and we will get into that later, but there's a step before that, in that pretty much everyone that's in the team has been working together in some sense for like at least the last 8 years or so.
Yeah.
Like the core team that it is now, like we've been working together on different projects for like quite a long time, and it goes back to, I guess, how we met, which was when I started doing. Oh, hey, Sir Jack Hunter, thank you so much for joining the chat. Nice to see you here. We met when I was doing the portrait project for Rise, which was a book that we did. We ended up doing that project together. But I actually met you through a random shoot that I did with M-Phases, which was for New Era. So I got hired to do this shoot for New Era, and we got sent to the studio that day to do the shoot. But the studio, you guys were just building the studio. So I rocked up to do the shoot, and the studio was like a shell. There was like, it wasn't built yet. So my first meeting of you was like walking in and going, hey, I'm here for this shoot. And you're like, well, like, I'm not sure what we're going to do here. And I was like, well, this is probably not going to work. And it was like this super weird, awkward meeting where I remember Emma was there as well, another dear part of the team. And literally a shell of a studio. Like, it was like, there was like bits of wood.
Yeah, it was just framing.
The frame was
literally
up.
like the frame. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is New Era, as in the hat brand. That's correct, Ash. So, yeah, I was hired by Acclaim magazine to do this shoot, and I rocked up, and there was like, literally like a frame, and so you went into like, okay, what are we gonna do? I need to like call. I think you called someone that had a studio down the road, and then we ended up going to another studio or something. So it ended up working out actually fine in the end.
Oh yeah, you went to Dustin McLean's house, which is an interesting fun fact, because the house that you went to, Dustin McLean, he's the guy that played keys on the acoustic version of Don't Tell Me in that video.
Oh,
that first video.
Linking it all together.
Mind blow.
Yeah, so I met you that day, and you kind of annoyed me because, not because of that, but like I had to go shoot M-Phases later on, and you were like, oh, I'll put you on the list for Illy, so I could go, because he was DJing for Illy at that time. Mm-hmm. And so when I got there, I wasn't on the list.
Another Nate Flagrant production.
And it made my life so hard, because I didn't have a pass. They wouldn't give me a pass, but I had to get photos of M-Phases from the front to put in this feature. And I was like, why didn't he just put me on the list?
Look, but you still got the shot, so everybody wins.
I know, it was actually one of the worst experiences of my life, because I had to like push my way to the front, and people that night were not nice. It was like so awful. It was really awful. But anyway.
Oh no.
But anyway, the second time I met M-Phases is I came to the studio when it was built, and I said to Mark, hey, I'm thinking about doing this project. And we did this shoot actually where at that studio that you guys are in up until recently. And when I was telling him about the project, he said to me, well, you really need to speak to Nate, because Nate knows everybody in the industry. So like Nate will be able to help you. And I was like, oh my God, this guy that didn't put me on the list, like I need to speak to him. Like, I don't know if I want to speak to him again, because
I have a cry.
Well, I did.
You know how many times I've like gone and thought my name was on the door and it wasn't on there?
Well, see, this is None. The thing. I was gonna say, this is the thing.
Congratulations on your number one album.
Oh.
See
Hi,
this?
Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
Hi, Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
Oh, the gravy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Would you like it all over this?
Okay, now be gone.
Congratulations.
Be gone with you.
Congratulations.
Where's the cutlery? Okay. Bring the cutlery and then be gone.
Joel's in full slave mode cooking for you as well. For those that have been watching the Ruel content pieces, there was another bunch that dropped today. Joel has been slaving away at these for weeks, and he's still working on them.
Thanks, fella.
And he's cooking for you as well. It's
all right. We'll keep going.
This is so standard that it's like hilarious. Oh my god, it's actually.
Remove.
Hey Benjamin, nice to see you. Thanks for joining the chat.
Benjamin.
So good to see you. Anyway, I did get past my annoyance with you, and I did meet with you, and the meeting that we had, you totally changed my opinion, and you were like, you're a bloody legend. You were like, I love your idea of doing this book. I want to help you, and you opened up your contact book basically and said, like, who do you want to shoot with? I can get you in contact with them. So basically helped me get in contact with anybody that I wanted to shoot with for that first project, which at that time I was like super new to the scene. I didn't know anybody. So it was
I think that maybe the whole guest list thing, have you considered that maybe that was a test? That I was just hazing you? See?
I wouldn't be surprised knowing you now.
I would never do that.
A good hazing, you need to join the team. Like, that's just the...
Hey, Joel, this is spectacular, mate. You've killed it.
Hey,
Thanks,
Joel.
buddy.
By the way, Joel is such a good cook. He's amazing. When we were away shooting
Very
all
good.
that content... Actually, you're both are good cooks. There was lots of roasts. I think we actually had a roast every night.
Pretty much.
Either you or Joel would cook a roast. Chloe said Joel is like Nate's version of Jarvis. Jarvis always brings me cups of tea and stuff during the chats.
And Joel are the boyfriends of Instagram.
You guys are the boyfriends of Instagram, yes. What up, Inferno? So good to see you here. We've got Inferno here. He's actually from Twitch. He's a legend, so he's in the chat tonight, which is cool. Benjamin just said, I feel like the start of this story was super crucial. We've really just got started. We just had a bit, we really haven't got into anything yet, so.
No.
Nate and Joel have a superior bromance. Grace, you have no idea. They go on holidays together. They went...
Joel, do you want to join?
They went...
Okay.
They went to Koh Samui, or aka Bro Samui, together.
Yeah, we did. We'll go again too. You can't stop us.
Right? But yeah, I guess, you know, like the collaboration that we did with Rise also meant that I started working with Grey Ghost, because Grey Ghost then designed the book for me. So I got to work with Jeremy from a design perspective, as well as working with you from a project management perspective. So
did you meet Jeremy through Mantra? Where did the Jeremy connect come from?
Actually, I met Jeremy through Remy. So Remy had just done a track with Jem, and I was like, hey, I really want to work with Jeremy for this project. And so he linked me, and Jeremy and I did a really just casual shoot together, and just was like instant click. Oh my god, where have you been all my life? We are separated at birth.
Can you find that sweet Rise photo that we took together?
Which one? The one of you?
In the newspaper.
Oh, where would that be?
I don't know, but I remember Tugger was like, yeah, get a photo in the back alleyway. You guys looking all hip hop. Like, yeah, sweet.
Oh no, that's the worst. So actually, I feel like if I Googled us, like Rise, it will come up. It's just like literally the worst photo of all time. I think it will be. I think it's in that if I Google Rise, it comes up in the images. You guys
it couldn't be the worst photo of all time, because there's definitely worse photos of me that are way worse than that.
Well, there's not many bad photos of me, so maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
There it is.
I hope I can find this photo. It's like, it was in, what was it in? What newspaper?
Who cares? Next question.
No, I want to find it. It was in that one that was in what's it called? The one that goes on the trains.
Oh, is it Beat or Impress?
Nah, the one that's. Oh, anyway, I literally can't remember.
Oh, MX.
MX. Oh my god.
That's the one. Yeah, who hasn't been in MX?
Yeah, but it's always a bad photo too. Oh god, I can't find
it was
it.
not great.
I remember they took some really cool photos that day, and then they actually published the worst photo ever.
So whack. So whack.
Oh, anyway. I'd love to get onto your artist management career and talk a little bit about that. So when you I guess you went from phrase to M phases. M phases would have kept you the busiest for a little while before Tom Thum.
Yeah. I mean, phrase was like a huge learning curve. You know, we were like, not to sound corny or anything, but like we were definitely trailblazing what we were doing at the time. And I don't, a lot of the stuff we tried to do never landed, but that was like spectacular training ground for what came later, and sometimes like you've got great ideas and plans, but just timing or, the state of the industry, it just might not be gelling and suitable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so phrase was like, that was very labor intensive. And then M phase is definitely, and when we did the Good Gracious album, which is a real seminal record in Australian hip hop history, that was a really huge moment as well, like a big step up for me in my career and kind of pulling all of that together. And then the subsequent tour as well. The tour was a real big one.
What year was that when you were doing that tour?
2010.
Were there any video clips from Good Gracious? Were there any video clips made?
Yeah, shamefully there was.
I want to
Joel
play
actually
one.
Joel's in one.
Oh, please tell me.
Dancing.
Please tell me which one it is. I'm playing it.
Goodbye Gravity.
Goodbye Gravity.
She's about to play it for everybody.
Yeah,
bro.
I won't play the song, but I'll definitely play the I'll play the video because if Joel's
Play
in
sweet dance moves, busting a backflip, doing a knee spin.
Oh my god, yes.
Here.
Let's look at Joel. Let's look at Joel in this video clip. I just want to say that
Clash of the Titans.
You eating in this interview is the most Nate Flagrant thing you've ever done. Is that Joel there?
Wait.
Wait. At the start.
Yeah, that's Joel. That's Joel.
At the start,
that's his sweet tush.
Yeah, that's his tush. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. No, that tush anywhere. That's
right?
Australia's tush.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm not going to pass up a roast dinner for Twitch.
This is the Good Gracious album by M Phases. For those who don't know, that is one of the more prolific Australian hip hop albums. So if you haven't heard it, Benjamin's asked, how did you meet M Phases? Did you guys meet on the?
Actually, that's it. I'm glad you asked that.
Great question, Ben.
It's a good one. Phases had done some remixes for Weapon X and Ken Hell, and it was like really, really sick, crazy. And he used to live in the Gold Coast, and me and Phases, I think we were touring with we were supporting Savage on his Moonshine tour, and we were coming from, I think we were going from Brisbane maybe to Byron or something. And Phases wanted to hook up with Phrase, and anyways, we're like, hey man, we're gonna come through, we want to meet you, we'll come to your home studio and say what up. And on the way there, me and Phrase were like, that's right. On the day that we were going to the Gold Coast, it was our day off, and I said to Phrase, I'm gonna take you to Wet n Wild Water Park, I'm gonna treat you. So Phrase is that excited, and So we'll meet Phases at his house. And then I said to Phrase, let's give him a test. We'll give him a sample and say, you need to flip this sample and make a crazy beat out of this sample by the time we get back from Wet and Wild. And
another hazing.
Yeah, we're like, if he smashes that beat, like, that's it. Like, I'm going to sign him up. And so, yeah, we like went to Wet and Wild, and we gave him Toto, Lovers and Always on Time, and then came back and he gave us the beat CD with the flipped sample, and we're like, holy shit! And then that became Fraser's intro for the rest of his tour.
Wow.
So, and then from there, signed him up. That was a rare.
There you go. There's the backstory for you.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, and then when I signed Phases, the first point of business was I said to him, you can't stay in Gold Coast, you got to come to Melbourne. And then I made him move down to Melbourne, and then made him work in my kitchen, which isn't too dissimilar to what I'm making Joel do at the moment with the Rivers and stuff. And making me dinner.
I'm making you dinner. I mean, you haven't changed your ways, you know.
Yeah, I basically try and find vulnerable young creatives, and then get them into my house and make them cook dinner for me and do cool creative shit. That's me, baby.
It's funny because it's true.
True. Yeah.
It's like when you rang us the night to say, hey, we're going to go away to create this content. Are you in? And it was like, we're in. Let's go. And off we went.
Very true. I know. That was mad. And that's a testament to the squad, though. That we all just cool, we just got to go. Let's do it.
Sir Jack Hunter said, hey, Nate, I'm a vulnerable young creative.
Cool. Get in the kitchen. See what you got.
That is so funny.
That needs to be made.
That's so funny. And yeah, some of the other artists that you manage are Tom Thum, Dylan Joel.
Yeah.
Who else is on your roster officially at the moment?
One Above.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Liam Quinn, Tucker Perry, SB90. Am I missing anybody? I always get concerned that I'm missing somebody.
That's a lot,
Cam
though.
Bluff.
Oh, Cam Bluff.
Cam
yeah,
Bluff.
Another great producer.
I feel like that's it.
Yeah. Sir Jack said he cooks mean, slow cook ribs. That's actually my husband's favourite.
Prove it,
thing
mate.
To cook.
Prove it.
Prove it, send it in.
Oh.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about is riding the I guess the highs and the lows of, because it's definitely not all highs in what you're doing. There's definitely been some pretty low times and lean times, and how have you personally got through those moments when nothing's happening with artists, if nobody's making stuff, then I guess essentially you don't get paid, so that can be a tricky time.
I mean, I think a huge part of management and is you do have the ebbs and flows constantly, and I think there's some people that are cut out for it. When I think about when I came up as a manager, so I started in 2004, right? That's when I started, and I was not good at all. But if I think back to 2004, how many managers that I was kind of rolling around with at that point that are still doing it now, I could count them in two hands easy. There's not very many. And for good reason, because it's really friggin' hard, you know, and it is tough. But I think that when you're passionate about something enough, and it's a thing that gets you out of bed every morning. I'm up early every morning. I'm, in bed it's crazy late every night, and I love it. I really, really love it. And so even when you're not necessarily making a lot of money, it's kind of enough to keep you going. But I was lucky compared to other managers because I had the DJ skill. So I was able to still work in nightclubs and stuff like that, getting paid cash in hand. And, you know, so like, it wasn't until like, I don't know, maybe probably 2012, 2013 that I didn't really need to DJ, but I still kept DJing. And then I think I stopped DJing maybe like 2015, 2016 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it is, it's like anything. If you're doing what you love, then it doesn't feel like work, but it is very hard and very like, cause like say when I signed an artist, for management, you know, one of the things I pretty much say to all of them is statistically, you're going to fail. Like this probably isn't going to work out for you or for me, just based on stats.
Yeah.
But I like you and you like me, and we're having fun together and we're being creative together. So let's just do that.
And see what happens.
And see where it goes, you know? So it's like a lot of it has to be fun and enjoyable, and you have to really love the person that you're working with, because not everybody is a slam dunk. And like, even like say like, you know, major labels or whatever, it's less than 10% of what a major label signs actually makes money.
Right.
So it's like, and it's inside that, like, you know, whatever it is, 0 to 10%, they're the artists that are paying for all of the failed artists, you know, like Universal or whoever it is that's got Beyonce, who knows, like, you know, well, Universal has Rihanna. They need a friggin' Rihanna record. Warner needs a Bruno Mars record. They need that shit, because if they don't have it, like, that is a huge blow to their, you know, to their finances and their ability to keep operating. Yeah. So when you're a small boutique, you know, management company like I am with a really small team, it's like, that shit's hard, man. Unless you're signing, like, and this is the thing that I think a lot of managers, this is why a lot of managers kind of like come and go, is because they think, oh, I'll sign all of these artists. Like, I'll have heaps and heaps and heaps of artists, but they have no friggin' clue what they're doing. Like, and then they can't keep up with all of those artists. And so they all fail. They all fall on their face. Yeah. You know, so you got to kind of live within your means, and again, keep everything at the core of it. Like, do you have fun? Do you enjoy this? Because I've worked on a lot of projects I don't enjoy. Yeah. And getting out of them was the best thing ever. But when you're having fun with people, you kind of don't care if you win or lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah. And also too, when going back to your, you know, how hard you work, like, it can't really be overstated. Is that the word? Because, like, I mean, I feel like our entire team are all pretty much workaholics, but like nobody works as hard as you. Like, you're always, right. I mean, it's true. You're always the first awake and the last asleep, regardless of, like, you know, we're all working our asses off as well. We pull stupid hours and all that sort of stuff, but like, you do work ridiculously hard and you do believe in your artists. Like, you genuinely believe in them and put everything into them, and have, like, the way that you manage is, it's in such a, like, empathetic and I don't really know the right way, but you genuinely give a shit. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I think excuse me, I think that, you know, you have a duty as like, if you're the manager or if you're the record label, you know, you have a duty to make that person's life good. Like, so when they sign to you, it's like they're signing to you because they're like, I don't know, hey Nate, I don't know how to get a record deal, or I don't know how to market myself, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So you're taking their livelihood into your hands, and so that deserves a very big level of respect.
Yeah,
and
totally.
That's the thing that will keep me up working, like, all nights, and, you know, like, leading up until this first release of the Ruel stuff or whatever, like, literally I've been working till like 4 or 5 in the morning, up at 7:30 in the morning. Yep. Well, actually up to do presentations at 7:30 in the morning with someone in New York or someone in UK. Yep. Like, it's, yep. But I do that because it has to be done. Yeah. It just has to be done, and there's no other way around it, you know? Yeah. So you just got to roll your sleeves up and get it done. But, you know, again, you do that because it's fun, and you believe in it, and you're working with people who you love and you care about, and you want to make something special happen for them. And that, it's like, so yeah, Ruel is like one part in this like more recent kind of campaign. He's one part of it, but what about Joel, who's been working around the clock?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
What about you, who's like dropped everything, come to Mornington and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I put that on my back too. It's like, I have to do this for you guys just as much as him. It's like, it is a team effort. And I think, again, it comes back to the core of it. It's fun. But it is also a business, and I've got to make money, and I've got to keep my people paid and keep them busy and all that sort of stuff. So
totally.
Yeah.
There's so many questions coming through, and I definitely want to get to them all. So I am seeing them, and I will get to them. There's Sir Jack Hunter said, at the start of your career, where did you draw the line at pro bono work? I don't know if that's like, I mean, do you draw the line? Because it's like there's that.
I mean,
you never would get paid for the amount of hours that you do that I see you work. Like, it's just not possible. It's just like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think that like, it also comes down to like, are you being appreciated? Like,
that's a good point.
So, you know what I mean? Like, if your artist knows what you're doing and like, man, thank you. Like, I see you're grinding. I see you're trying, because just like sometimes shit just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Doesn't work, and you throw everything at it.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't go, and it's hard, and it's but I think that like, with the pro bono stuff, and I say this to a lot of people, not just like new artists, but also other artists that like have been in the game for a while, and they're trying to. I'm sure you can imagine during COVID and the pandemic, like everybody's like at a loss, like what the fuck do I do?
Exactly.
Where do I go? Like what should I? How do I keep relevant and all that sort of stuff, so I'm having lots of conversations with with different people, and I think that so much of that kind of when that stuff isn't going to work, you have to set like realistic markers for success or for progress. And so if you never see the progress, then what's the point of doing it?
Yeah, great point.
You know what I mean? So then one of the hardest things ever, and I've told some of my mates about this one, never sort of said it publicly, but I still think it's an important thing for all of us to just like be real about, is like, I had a guy who he hit me up and said, hey, could you DJ for me? I'm doing like this event. I want to try and like raise some money to like do my record deal. Anyways, like, so we did the event, and like he had heaps of his friends come down, and then after the event he hit me up and was like, oh, I have a friend who wants to give me like 30 grand to make the EP. Like, he wants to invest 30 grand in me. He's like, that's a lot of money. Like, I'm pretty nervous about doing that. And he's like, can you just tell me, like, do you think I have what it takes? And it was hard. He didn't. He wasn't great, and I didn't think that he really had that thing that was going to become great. And so I had to say to him, like, I don't think so. I don't think you should take that money. And that was, obviously soul destroying for him.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to lie to him and let him be in debt to somebody for 30 grand. And, and about a year or so later, like I caught up with him at a club or whatever, and he thanked me for it. He said it was really hard to take. I was really bitter about it, but now I can see that wasn't actually the path for me. So, I just think when it comes to the pro bono stuff or whatever, you have to just set yourself some limits and some points where you're like, it's saying this isn't going to happen
anymore. Yeah.
No, or it never will work. I can't get it off the ground. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the people that just keep going. Like sometimes, like they really have that thing. But I think that if there's one thing I've learned in all the years I've been doing it, it's like it should feel like a pull, not a push.
Yep.
When you're trying to work with an artist and get an artist off. If you're constantly pushing it, maybe it's
not meant to be. Yeah. Great answer. Glow Beaton's asked, there's an interesting discussion at the moment about labels. Do you have any thoughts on the larger conversation happening due to the Kanye comments? Any perspective on that? I think that's a great question. Have you seen Kanye. I mean, assuming you've seen the Kanye tweets.
Just his random shit. What's he saying? What's his labels?
So
What's his label shit?
he was basically saying that he posted like a million screenshots of his contracts and basically saying that labels write artists into contracts that are impossible to ever either make money or recoup stuff. And I think he was saying, his contract, he was saying he was getting like 13% of something, and the label was getting like 86% or 80, whatever the math is on that. Terrible.
Sounds about right.
So I think he's, he was trying to say that artists should always, own their masters. He's really pushing for that avenue that, labels are owning masters and artists should own their masters. There was a lot in a lot of tweets. He actually ended up being not banned, but he got paused from Twitter for a while because he was tweeting so much. So
he's crazy, man. Man.
Gloza said basically label dispute that labels are de-enfranchising people unlike any other industry. So it's...
Yeah. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Like it's a hard slog to make money if you sign to a major. And would I necessarily say that it's fair? No, I don't think that it's fair, but I also think that like artists all have a choice to sign with the label or not. Like you when somebody puts a deal across the table, it's your choice to get a lawyer, and then you get that lawyer. Do you get your mate who's like does property law to do your shit, or do you go hire a big dog, lawyer and put the money behind it? Now a lot of artists don't have the money to put into a big time lawyer. Like first publishing deal we did with Phases, like there was a clause in it that I wish we could have removed. Like that I didn't pick up because of my inexperience.
Yeah.
And the lawyer that we hired hadn't made that clear to me. So there's no shade on the lawyer, just like one of those things, And I think that the major label system, you are not going to make money from that shit unless you're killing it. Absolutely destroying it. And the other thing is like, I've always viewed a major label as like a marketing vessel. I've never viewed a major label as like, these guys, I'm going to make money from this record deal. It doesn't like, no, I'm going to make my money from touring. I'm going to make my money from merch. I'm going to make my money from publishing. I'm going to make my money from every other thing except for selling records. That's the mentality.
Yeah.
I go into it big in the artist's favor. Absolutely not. But then you have lots of independent deals. And an independent deal, with like a smaller label or something like that, you can really do some, you can do strong numbers and you can make money, So, then there's like, if you've got leverage as well, in your situation, like let's say you put something out independently and it pops on Spotify or goes viral or whatever, and you hold the cards with the major label because they're all coming in swinging, trying to get whatever they can from you, and that's like in many respects what we did with Ruel. And we did it independently, and we had all the labels come in, and then we got to call the shots. So there's a lot of factors at play. But if you don't have that clout and you don't have that success independently, you're gonna get F'd in the A.
Yeah. And I guess the perspective
because you've got no power.
Yeah, and also too, like so many young people that are coming into the industry, no idea. I would assume he's probably talking about a lot of young hip hop artists as well. So potentially don't have, might have come from places where they don't, have a lot of financial backing or can't go get lawyers, and all of a sudden they're in this situation, and of course they're going to sign this deal that looks and sounds amazing, but potentially don't have the best advice. And
one of the first deals like I ever did, like I didn't go to a lawyer, so I was trying to save money. You know,
Yeah.
and it was a shitty deal. So it's like the major label deal one is really tough. Like, because here's the thing, if your sites are like global, then go do a major label deal, because you need that infrastructure. You need all the individual labels in all the other territories to help you expand. If you're just trying to be hood famous, or like, you know, famous in your country, then you can just do it independently. You probably don't need, you know what I mean? It's just about like where your sites are. Ahead. But there's no two ways about it. And like, for anybody here that's like trying to do a deal or has friends trying to do a deal, get a dope music lawyer. Like, just no matter what, spend the money, find the money, like whichever way you can, do it properly, and get a deal that's like favorable. And also get your lawyer to explain every single detail on this, so you just know what you're doing, you know? And from my experience anyways, don't go into the record thinking you're going to make money from records. Certainly not if it's a major. So unless you go crazy big, you're not going to make money.
Yeah. Well, you've answered one of the questions that was advice for young aspiring managers, and there's a lot of advice in there, so that's really great. Like, it's I know one of the questions that everybody's wanting me to ask is how you came to work with Ruel. I don't know if you've ever told the story publicly. Have you ever told
Next question.
Do you not want to talk about it? We don't have to, by the way.
No, I'm fine. I'm just teasing. We were doing a job with Tom Thum, and
we actually all were. The whole team was.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, yeah. So
it's Jeremy, I, myself, you, obviously, were on set. Come here.
And the client was there on the shoot, and the client and I were just talking offset, and he was saying like, oh, what makes you want to work with an artist? Like, what's the criteria? And I said, well, it starts with the voice. Like, if they got an amazing voice, I'm in. And he said, oh, like, we're thinking of working with this new artist. Can I play you something? I said, cool. So he like puts the headphones on me, and I didn't have like super high hopes, because I'm pretty used to like people playing me pretty bad music. And it was crazy. The voice was just like beautiful. And I didn't know the song. It was a James Bay cover, but I wasn't familiar with it. Because I listened to badass, mean street music. Anyway, and yeah, so I heard that, and the voice was like so stunning, and I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman's voice, but I was like, wow, this is just phenomenal. And I instantly, like, in my head, I'm like, man, like, Phases has to hear this, because M Phases was working on like his new album, and we were like keeping an eye out for features and stuff. And anyway, so I take the headphones off. I go, man, that's great. Like, who is that? And he says, oh, that's my son. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, and he's 12. I'm like, holy shit. And man, could I have like a copy of that, whatever. So he sent the demo to Phases, same kind of thing, like didn't say anything to Phases about like, like who it was or anything. And then bang, like Phases is on the phone to me, and he's like, holy shit, who is it? And I was like, man, it's this kid, and he's sitting, and he's 12, like screaming, like screaming, shutting down the phone. And then yeah, that's kind of how it all kicked off.
It's such a wild story. And I remember the first time that I actually heard Ruel sing was when Hugh, your best friend Hugh, when he went back to London, he had a bit of a party.
Yeah, that's right.
And Ruel came and did like a little acoustic thing. I think he was 13 at the time. It was the first time that I'd met him. And I remember Jarvis was there, and Ruel started singing, and I just started crying. I was just like...
You always cry.
I know, I do.
Big softy.
I am a big softy, but I just was so blown away by his voice and the fact that he was 13, and it was like... Yeah, I think it was pretty amazing that like
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, sorry, go. I was just gonna say it's pretty amazing that the story about like, you know, how it all came together, and that, you know, the client that we'd been dealing with for all these weeks and was on set was Ralph, and that's Ruel's dad, and like it's just it's so wild to think about now that Jeremy was directing, I was assistant directing, you were there the whole time, like the, you know, essentially the team was there on that day, and yeah.
I mean, it was definitely like the perfect storm, and I think, you know, Ralph is such a G, like, you know, even just the way that he kind of approached it with me, and, you know, he wasn't trying to fool me. He wasn't trying to like be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like get in with this manager or whatever. He just wanted to know, like, hey man, I think my son's really good. Like,
what do you?
I want to know if like a professional thinks that he's good, because Ralph was like, I feel like he's really good, you know. And so
he's such a music lover as well, Ralph. Like he really adores listening to music, and he knows his stuff. Like, you know, the fact that Ruel has such great music taste is a testament to Ralph playing really cool stuff to him as well, which is really awesome. 100%.
Yeah, Ralph's the man.
He's
and
the
you
man.
know, Ralph was incredibly involved, you know, especially in the early days in like everything, like me, because me and Ralph were co-managing Ruel together at the start, you know, because it's a very, you know, as a manager, having never managed a team before, like, it's a surreal and bizarre thing to go to the parents and say, could I represent your 12-year-old boy? That's like, totally. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's very, you know, it was very nerve-wracking to kind of even get to that point. And I was working and talking for over 6 months before I even like got the balls to ask the question. And but because I got along with Ralph so well, and it was actually a real blessing that Ralph and I got to work on this project with Tom Thum before Ruel was even in anybody's mind, because we got along really well and we worked really well together creatively on that job. So by the time I was ready to ask the question, I was happy to say, hey Ralph, how about we can, you know, and so Ralph did it for like about a year, and then Ralph's like, no, that's fine, you got this. Like, I don't need to co-manage it. It's good.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally.
So
I think it's also like it is a real testament to your character though, and anyone that knows you knows just what a stand-up human you are. And like, I know, like, all jokes aside, you are like probably the man with the most morals and ethics that I think I've ever met in my life, and honestly, he couldn't have a better manager. To people, I firmly believe that. Like, he's in such good hands.
Thanks, mate.
You genuinely give a shit about him as a human being first, and want to see him do really well as an artist. So, it's cool that he's landed with you managing. So, it's awesome. I love the team, and I love working on
teamwork,
this project.
Man.
It's lots of fun. It's lots of fun. Tilly had a really great question. Is there any advice on getting into the music industry and making a name for yourself as a young, aspiring artist? I think Tilly's a musician herself, actually.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think it's really important that you kind of surround yourself with other people that are like at the same level as you. Like, I think sometimes young artists, like, they set their sights super high, which you should, but they're like, you want the world now. You want all the bells and whistles now. And it doesn't often work that way. And so I think it's really important that you work with other people who are trying to figure it out and trying to come up, because it's like when one person rises, then everybody rises with them. And so, but also it's more collaborative and it's more fun, because, like, you know, say for instance, like myself, when I was coming up as a DJ, straight away, like I was just trying to meet other DJs and learning from them. And, you know, like one person taught me how to do one thing and then another person taught me another thing, you know. And so I think playing your position is really important. Don't try and, like, you know, go too big too soon. But also, like, really hone your craft, like really learn what is your art form. Like, and I'm sure Michelle can even say that she's applied this in her artistry as a photographer, like studying lenses, studying lighting techniques, you know, like really properly learning about it. Like, what the heck is this? Like, how does this work? And, you know, how can you be the best at your craft? So it's like say with Ruel or whatever, like when we started with him, we could have just like put him into like given him songs and said, hey man, just sing this song. Like, we just want you to do this and, you know, get in the studio and that's it. We never did that. Like, the first thing we did is like we put him in with Thief and we got Thief to teach him how to write a song. And that's why Ruel's written everything that he's ever done, you know, like albeit collaborates with other songwriters, but there's nothing there. That he always, you know, always, like, you know, he's like, no, let's change this, let's do this, I got this melody, da 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 da, you know what I mean? Like, that comes from somewhere, and that comes from learning. And you know, he was obviously lucky enough that I was able to put him into sessions with really awesome songwriters who kind of fast tracked him. But if you're young and aspiring, that doesn't always work that way, and that's okay. But you, on your own, and also working with other like-minded young, you know, talented individuals, you can all learn together, and you can learn on your own if you actually like put your heart and soul into it. Like with me with DJ, I had no DJ teacher. I like would buy the videos, like the competition, like battle videos and stuff like that, like on VHS, and I would like pause, rewind, slow play, like trying to figure out what they were doing on the crossfader and all that sort of stuff, because I loved it and I was passionate about it. So if you want to get ahead, be dope. And to be dope, you've got to put in the work and really learn, you know?
Yeah.
That's my only advice. Like, there's
no shortcuts. Yeah.
Just be dope. And if you're dope, you'll cut through.
Every single person that I know that is successful in the music industry has worked their asses off. Like, there really is no shortcuts. Like, there might be that occasional artist that is the flash in the pan and then they disappear, but the ones that are there for a long time have really worked so hard and you know, like you said, worked on their craft and all of those things. Like, it's super important.
Joel needs to work on his craft of crackling, because this is not great. This is meant to be the best bit. And
my God,
I feel
Joel.
like this has got to be the first, like, I've been pretty much eating the entire way through this. Just progressively.
It's like, this is your first critique, though. Like, everything else has been pretty good.
Positive.
So, yeah, it's been pretty positive.
Yeah.
Ash had a question. Where did it go, Ash? I've lost it. What's the working relationship like between us? Nate, do you get Michelle to do all your artist photography?
Not all of it. I also use Shanks in Sydney.
Yeah, in Sydney. Yeah.
Tristan. Use Tristan
Reedy.
as well.
Reedy sometimes.
Nicole Reed.
I mean, we're all of us.
She's amazing.
All fam as well.
I can't eat this on Twitch. It's going to be too loud.
It's so loud, Nate.
Yeah. One more bite. Oh
my God, the crackling. So
spectacular. Okay. All right, I'm in now.
You're in.
No, so, I mean, working with Michelle, I mean, the whole clique is like family.
Yeah. We literally are
like,
family.
So it's sort of all goes by default, but then at the same time, it's like, she's top of her game, so why would I go elsewhere? You know, don't be a dumb dog. But no, it's awesome, and I think that having worked together for this long, and Michelle being involved in so many projects and stuff like that, it's like you're always going to have like your A team, and Michelle and Jeremy and Joel, like, they're my A team for what they do. And I think that Michelle's got that skill of making people feel very comfortable on camera, but also making them feel handsome and feel or pretty, whatever the case may be. And I think that that's super important. The subject's got to feel comfortable at the absolute core of it. And when you got somebody that has such a warm and what's the word I'm looking for? Like calming temperament, that's very hard to beat. Some photographers will breeze in and they've got a big personality that's annoying and it's all over the top and it makes the artist or the subject feel uncomfortable. Whereas Michelle always makes you feel at home and super just chill. It's easy. But then also like working with Michelle, because we're family, it's like, cool, I can hit her up at 11 at night and be like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm in bed. I'm like, cool, get up. I need this photo.
Like literally.
She's like, all right, sweet.
There's been so many times, Nate, that I've been streaming and I've gone, I've got a message from Nate, guys.
I've just been saying that, Joel, come here.
Get in shot.
Get closer.
Hey, Joel, miss you.
Down.
I miss you.
Head down. There he is.
There he is.
Look, look, the crackling's
any more
it's really not
chores?
great. It's, well, dude, look at that.
He's
Like,
not
listen,
happy,
if
Joel.
I bite into this,
Is that...
There you go.
it's not very,
That's the noise you want to hear.
it's so chewy.
See, this is so funny. I got so many messages after the first face-to-face thing that were like, oh my god,
You're sending it back.
I'm sending it back. Can you picture it?
sending it back to the...
I can try to fix it.
Maybe in the microwave or something. You got this, boo.
If this isn't done, do you have any more chores you got to do?
No, but
Oh my god.
you'll be happy to know I snuck off. I scurried off to the IGA and got 2 different types of ice cream. I still watching
Oh, there you go, Joel.
I go, get your ass in the kitchen and bring back that crackling, baby.
I got so many messages after the first face-to-face thing saying, oh my god, Ruel was so mean to Joel. I'm like, that's not even mean. Like, you should, that's just like every day how we are like to each other every day. Like, that's just...
Oh, yeah.
It's all... Thank you,
I still
Jarvis.
don't know if mine's going to ever make it to the airwaves, Michelle.
Why? Do you think... Thank you,
pretty raw.
Jarvis. Do you want to say hi to Nate? Oh, Jarvis is here.
What up, Nate?
I don't think
What
he
up,
can see.
Jav?
Oh, yeah, you can.
What up?
He just bought me a
Let
tea.
me see those locks.
Oh,
Chocolate.
yeah. Show me... He
Take
wants
the hat
to
off.
see your
Let me see the locks.
He wants to see your locks.
Show me what you're working
They're
with.
beautiful.
Look how long it is.
See, I don't know how many of
It's good.
your
Enjoy.
Twitch audience realize this, Michelle, but Jarvis is ripped. He's jacked as shit.
They know because the only person I've had to take photos of in the past 6 months is him, so he's been my model.
Ooh, good model.
Great model. Great model. There's a couple
the
of
gun show.
questions that have been answered already, and just in terms of how you started and stuff like that. So you guys can watch the VOD. It'll be uploaded to the channel later on if you want to see that at the start. But I'm just scrolling through. Kenzie said Kenzie is an amazing cook. She said chuck the crackling in some oil and crisp it up. She does it all the time.
Like in the microwave or in the oven?
I don't know. She said chuck it in some oil. I just figured like on the pan. Put it in the pan again.
Put crackling on the pan, Michelle?
Oh, I don't know. It's quick.
That's a travesty. I should disconnect right now if you're saying that.
Beep, disconnect. Oh my god, so much yelling. No, not in the microwave. She said not in the microwave. Brooke said she went to my interview on Face to Face, but it's not working. Oh, really? There's a few people saying the website wasn't working today. Must have been too much traffic.
That's what I'd like to think it is.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Keep talking, I'll check it as we talk. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, like the layers of this job and the Ruel vision universe, is so heavy, and we're such a small team trying to put this together for you guys. Like, I know not everybody here is like all into Rule Vision or whatever, but for those of you that are,
there's a few.
like we have been working friggin' round the clock to try and really give you guys like a pretty wild escape, and there's so much more stuff coming as well.
Yeah.
Like, still haven't even like scratched the surface.
Asia's in India, and she said that it keeps saying she's forbidden. She can't get onto the website. Oh no, she said she finally did get it working and genuinely died. Okay, good. That's good. Because I know originally she was having issues with it.
How is she sending you this message?
She's
literally dead.
She's just literally dead.
Damn.
Mika says here, this is a great question. How do you as a manager keep your artists grounded, especially the young ones? Like fame can go so wrong sometimes. That's a great question. Oh yes, Sir Jack, this is Jeddah. This is Jeddah, by the way. If you have never seen Jeddah before, this is Jeddah. That's how you keep them grounded. You keep them in the chamber.
Yeah. I'm just checking Michelle's face to face.
Oh yeah. Glow said oh, there's me.
Yeah, you're working. You're good.
Okay.
Well, okay, yeah. So to be honest, keeping anybody grounded, like some of my artists, have definitely like got at times, had egos and all that sort of stuff. But I think it's like clearly, given that I already said to Joel, I sent the pork back. I say exactly what I think. So if
you are very good at that though. Like you're not one of those people that's like a yes person. Like you do tell it how it, and that's for everybody. Like you tell it how it is, which is I think
I love a confrontation.
But it's also the best thing. Like you always know where you stand because you will tell. You'll say it, and I do genuinely love that about you.
Yeah. Well, I think you gotta just be straight up. If somebody's acting like a dick or acting like a jerk, you just gotta call it out straight away. Because most people don't actually want to be a dick.
Yeah.
Most people want to be liked, and so I think that a lot of times with like, people that have, that streak of arrogance or whatever. Like a lot of times you can call it out and they'll, sort of recoil like, oh shit, like, yeah, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, cause you called them out and you put it up under their face. But like, I remember, I won't say who, but like, an artist back in the day who I was cool with, and we were at a club and their girlfriend left, and then, he was like hooking up with some other girl, and I pulled him aside and I was like, bro, like, what are you doing, man? Like, you got a girlfriend, like, she loves you, dude. Like, what, like, like, one, like, why are you doing that? And two, I'm like, you're being a dog,
Yeah.
Don't be a dog. And then, he's like, don't you ever fucking tell me, like, don't you ever fucking, like, tell me, and I was like, cool, all right, we're not friends. Because friends call out other friends, like when they're acting like a dickhead, whatever. So, that was very telling for me about a certain person. Like I said, most people don't want to be a dog.
Yeah.
But when people like are called out for being a dog and they're just like, fuck you, I'm going to keep being a dog, that's when, like, you should get away. Yeah. I know, that's what I said. Don't be a dog.
Don't be a dog. And also it just shows,
specifically, don't be a dumb dog.
A dumb dog. Well, it also, again, shows that you are a person of integrity, even to call that out at the start, so. Oh, unless you're Dakota!
Unless you're that dumb dog.
Or Jeddah. Or she's not dumb. Or she's not dumb, though. Oh my god, there's so many questions that came through on Instagram before, so I definitely want to ask a couple of them. My favourite one was Julia asking, when do I get my husband back? I thought that was great, from Jeremy's wife.
Never. Okay, I'll let her know. Never. Nah.
what is the highlight of your career with Ruel been so far? Has there been a moment a real pinch yourself moment with Ruel yet? Thank you for the biddies, Badmon. Thank you so much.
I mean, we both have a pretty fond spot for the Opera House show.
Shut it.
Look at that.
Oh, we got some crackling back. Look at that.
That is crackled up, baby. I want to hear it too. I'm cracking a you know what just looking at this fat.
Hey, this is PG. PG. Guys, do you see what I have to deal with? This is what I have to deal with all the time. This is literally what I have to deal with.
Oh, baby.
Did he use the pan? How did he do it? Benjamin wants to know.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Who cares?
So, Opera House, you're saying that was a pretty good moment.
All right, Joel, how did you do it? They really want to know. They really want to know how you did it. Yeah. He put it under the grill.
Ah, cool.
Oh, that's a bit too.
Oh my god.
Wow. Oh. Can you hear it?
I can hear it. It's
ASMR.
wild. Wait.
Pitbull lyrics? We're at the motel.
Asia, I missed.
Oh,
What
man.
is? What? I didn't even know what WandaVision is. Is the theory that Ruel Vision is inspired by WandaVision? What is WandaVision? Like one division? I don't understand, girls.
What? One division?
I don't know, girls. I don't know what they mean. There's a Marvel TV series. See, I don't know shit about Marvel, so maybe. It's a young person thing, don't worry. Thanks, Hickey. Thanks, Hickey, for reminding me. Apparently, it's got a very similar theme. I'm sure he'll answer when he finishes his crackling, guys.
Okay, I'm done. Next question.
Berlin Boom Bap said Flagrant needs to sample that fat crackling on his next hit. We'll get that recording for you.
Crackle.
Like a vinyl crack. Absolutely.
Sound. Yeah.
Before you answer that, Tilly Grace said, tell Nate thank you so much for the artist advice. I'm actually doing vocal lessons with Ruel at the moment and trying to learn lots about my craft. That's amazing, Tilly. I love to hear that. That's Ruel is amazing. Another part of the family. So, I don't know if you want to answer the WandaVision thing. I have no idea if that was a thing.
I have no idea what that is. Sorry, I don't know.
Jeremy might know. Ask Jeremy. Jeremy will be on in a few weeks. We can ask him.
WandaVision.
WandaVision. There you go. Ask Ruel. He'll know.
Okay.
What else do I have here for you? Oh yeah. We spoke about the highlight. You think it was Sydney Opera House? That was a pretty big moment.
Oh yeah. Both Ruel and I Sydney Opera House one was pretty crazy. Like actually, the real highlight for me that was I want to say we're in like Indo, Michelle. We're in a tour van somewhere on the Asia tour, and
Jakarta.
I was like
Jakarta.
It was Jakarta, right? And I was saying to Ruel, I'm like, oh, bro, like, we're like the tickets go on sale tomorrow for the Opera House show, and Ruel was like, man, like, do you think? I was like, oh man, look, I don't know. Like,
Sorry, just cut out there. Did you say, do you think it'll sell out? It just cut out there for a bit.
Ruel was asking me, he was like, do you think it'll sell? I was like, how crazy would that be if it sold out? And I'm like, oh man, look, fingers crossed. Like, I think we'll eventually sell it out. Like we'll get there. Like it might not happen straight away, but like
Yeah.
you know, I think we can do it.
I like your
And,
style also of managing expectations.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we've got a
It should never be like,
huge.
oh, it's gonna happen, man. You're gonna kill it.
We have
Like, whatever,
a
like,
we've got a huge raid at the moment, by the way. DJ Smiles Official is just raiding with a party of 34 people. So I just want to welcome the raiders. We've got Nate Flagrant here, artist manager. So say what up. So good to see you. So good
What's
to see you
up?
here, raiders. Drop us a
Welcome
follow
to the
if you
raid.
like. Welcome to the raid. Raiders, welcome to our stream. Thank you so much for the follows.
Yep.
Legend
Welcome to
status.
Raiders of the Lost Dogs.
Oh, thank you so much, DJ
If
Smiles
this doesn't
Official.
keep you Raiders here, I don't know what will.
I know. We've actually 2 dogs. 2 dogs usually keeps the raiders around. Hey guys, thank you
Yep.
so much for the raid. It's so nice to see you here. So many legends in the building. 3 dogs. Calvin's here as well, so there's 3 this stream, and it's my 6-month anniversary of my first stream. So thank you so much for making it such an awesome stream with so many people here. This is so cool.
Oh, you know what, Michelle? You know what this means?
What? I'm not twerking again, no.
Mate. No.
It's not.
I think this means that like it's about to go down, and we're about to get into some pretty weird.
Oh,
It's party time, baby.
wait, I
Let's
can
go.
do that. Let's go.
Raiders.
Raiders. Woo. Raiders. Oh, dancing dogs. Wait,
Yeah, baby.
got that swing on this soy song too. Can you hear, guys?
What's up, my
Can you hear
dogs?
that? Can Dakota twerk? Dakota twerk. Oh my
Dakota?
god.
Show me tush.
Wait. Should she twerk? I don't know. Can Jetta?
Back that thing up.
That's ridiculous.
Sorry, Dakota,
Oh my
I shouldn't-
god.
It's inappropriate.
Oh
All
my
right.
god. Where were we?
Shall we
You
get back to it?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you were
where were
saying, Ruel was saying, do you think we're going to sell out the Opera House? That's the story we're at.
Yeah. So yeah, he was like, "Do you think we can do it?" And so yeah, I'd been managing expectations. I was like, "Man, it'd be crazy if we did." I don't know. And so to answer the question, the biggest highlight was the next morning. I love taking baths, just so you know. And so I was taking a bath in my hotel room.
Oh my god,
Looking
you
out
love
over
baths so
Jakarta.
much.
Yeah, looking out over Jakarta, and then our booking agent like hits me up, like texts me. It's like, "Oh, can you talk?" And I'm like, "Man, reception's not great in this hotel room. Like, call my hotel room." And because there was a phone over the bathtub in the hotel, so he calls my room, and I answer the phone, and he's like, "We've sold out the Opera House like in like minutes, and there's like something like 1,800 people in the waiting line, waiting
Oh,
like
wow.
you know in the waiting queue,
In
whatever."
the queue, yeah.
To get more tickets. He was like, "Can we do a second show?" And I'm just like feet up in the tub, butt naked. I'm like, "Yeah, second show, do it." Click, hang up.
Oh my
That's my
god.
life. This is boss life. Such a douche.
It's so,
I'm such a wanker.
it's so funny. Yes, but it's funny. That is very funny. That is so. You love those boss life moments though. That's What about when we bought
I
you
live for that shit.
the Versace robe, and then we ended up getting you the slippers and the eye thing for your birthday?
Oh yeah, you
Versace,
know
Versace,
the weight
Versace.
of my heart.
We do.
Mhm.
We love you very
I
much.
love the finer things.
Grace asked this question a few times, and she just said, "What experience or education do you need in order to get into artist management?" There's not really a pathway in terms of like studying, is there? But as far as I know, there's not like courses.
I think that there is like, and so whilst I'm not encouraging this, like I didn't finish year 10, but
and it's super obvious.
yeah, you should see my spelling. Yeah.
I'm joking.
but,
I'm joking.
But
I like my purple lights before. Yeah, that's better.
I guess I think the key thing for artist management really is to truly, like, you have to be self-starting, completely self-motivated, because you work for yourself. And if you don't get up early and you don't go out and try and find these opportunities for your artists, like, you're the one that can't put food on the table or can't pay the rent. You know what I mean? Like, so you've only got yourself to blame. You've just got to like get your hands dirty. So I think it definitely takes a certain type of person, and that's not just management. I think that's like anybody who's like going to be an entrepreneur and run their own business. Like, if you're not self-motivated and a self-starter, you shouldn't work for yourself. You should work for somebody else. And there's no shame in working for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
That's all good. Some people are built to work for themselves, and some people just are not.
That's such a good point. I was actually like super lazy when I worked for other people as well. And then when I worked for myself, all of a sudden, I was like, you can't blame anyone else for anything, for your failures or whatever. It's all on you, which I love. I actually love that. I love having nobody else.
Seeing that comment from Amber Lee there, like saying like there's a music management section in your music major at uni, like it's definitely a thing. Yeah. Like, and when I decided to start managing, like I bought a book, like I can't remember the name of the book, whatever, and I definitely learned some stuff from it. So much of management though, like artist management for real, is like it again sounds really douchey, but like you got to be a leader and you have to be charismatic, because you're taking this artist who's really talented and skilled and amazing, who people look up to, and you've got to be in your way on the business front almost like as equally exciting and engaging as your artist is on the business side of things. So I feel like there's been a lot of people that have come and interned for me at times, and I can see like they've got the passion for it, but they don't have that like indistinguishable leadership quality, or that that charisma that when they walk in a room that they can speak with confidence and really like command the room. There's a guy, Daniel, who started with me as an intern, and he was so good, so damn good, that he got to the end of his internship and I'm like, I cannot let you go. You have I have to hire you. You have to stay. And now he's my business partner, but so in saying that, it's like I've been through a lot of interns before meeting somebody like that, or like Daniel, who's like, I can't.
Yeah, he's amazing.
You've got that thing.
Yeah,
and
totally.
He didn't have like a university degree in management. He just had that thing.
Just that, yeah. And there's definitely something that's, I mean, anyone in the team too, they just click. Like there's something about every single person in the team that there's a similarity, even though everybody's obviously individual, but there's a similarity in everybody in terms of like the way they genuinely care for other people, I think. Like there's something really unique in the team that I love. Like that's why it's not just a team for me. Like you guys are my best friends. Like we hang out socially. Like we're that tight, we genuinely like love each other and love hanging out, and I think that's really special
and
to find that.
Goes back to Tilly's question as well before, what she was asking, like, what should I do? I'm an aspiring artist or whatever. It's like, if you take, say, you, Michelle, like when we first started working together, you were still only a couple of years in?
Oh, like 18 months? Yeah, 18 months in, maybe. Yeah.
So you, like, you weren't like the bomb then, but you had that thing. So, and so I guess for me, in the position I was in, I could see that you had that thing. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna help you out. Now, that being said, it's like, I can't speak to how hard you went in on trying to learn your craft before we met. And Tilly, like, I can't speak to how much, you've been training and how hard you've been going. But I guess, like, if you are going to be doing what you're doing and trying to, like, get ahead in the music industry, so much of it is reaching out to people and trying to connect and network and all that sort of stuff. And you might not always be able to get plugged in with somebody that's higher up than you that can kind of open doors for you. You might not get that, but building with other people who are doing the same thing as you, trying to like, trying to get a leg up and trying to connect, they might get a connect somewhere, and then that connect becomes your connect. And like I said, one rise, the other rises with them. So
yeah.
Totally. I think you do need to find your family and the people that you can,
people.
Yeah, you can roll with and support each other.
Totally. There's another question from Grace. She just asked, have you found that artist management has been more difficult in Australia, just in terms of the opportunities available?
I think Australia is actually easier because we're a smaller market. Like when you go overseas, especially in America, it's like managers are a dime a dozen. There's so many, the Australian mentality and the Australian energy is very different from American management energy. So like when I go into those situations and those sorts of meetings, I go with my head held high. Like I feel really comfortable with who I am as a person, and I let the other people in the room flex and try to, be the big swinging dick in the room, and that's cool. That's good for them. Like do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. But it's definitely like it can be uncomfortable at first when you put yourself in that sort of position overseas, because everybody is flexing and trying to show how dope they are and how they're better than you. Whatever. Whereas I feel like Australia has a much more community.
Totally. Bit
energy.
more subtle. Little Brit, if you're still Jimmy, if you're still in the chat, I just wanted to say that I did notice that you bought the Join the Crew hoodie before it popped up on screen, and I didn't get to thank you properly because Nate was talking. So thank you so much for buying the Join the Crew hoodie, legend. Let me see. There's a couple of more questions here. Why can't everyone be like Nate? I mean, I think Nate would agree with that. Grace said, in terms of this is a question I get asked all the time, and I think it's a really hard one to articulate. But how can people go about making connections in the industry? Because I mean, they're genuine friendships. Like that's where it's this really weird thing, because like although they can be mutually beneficial in terms of career progress, like they're genuine friendship, so it's hard to like give advice sometimes on that. Do you think?
I mean, when I was trying to for those that were here at the start of the session, when I moved back from America in '99, it took me about a year to try and like figure out what was going on, and I was going to different events trying to figure out who the players were, who were the people that organized who making stuff happen. And I'd made some friends that or whatever, but like one of the guys like wanted to be a rapper, you know what I mean? So like we were kind of hanging out with each other, and then he kind of schooled me up, and he's like, there's this guy, like he's kind of the dude. And so then I started going to that guy's club night every Sunday, and sort of seeing that, and he would introduce himself to everybody and say hello and whatnot. And then one day I was like, fuck it, like I went and I made a mixtape, like a really like a club friendly mixtape. And then I just went to his club night, bailed him up. I was like, hey man, I know you don't know me, but I'd really love to come and play here one day. I'm happy to come and play for free. Here's my mixtape, like my number's on there. If you'd be interested, like let me know. And then he called me like a few days later. He was like, hey man, like I took the mixtape home, played it for my like girlfriend. She like lost her mind, but she loves it. Like you got to come back play this Sunday. So yeah. And then that guy ended up taking me on my first national tour around Australia, introduced me to like everybody, like Hilltop Hoods, like all of the kind of the OGs in the hip hop scene here in Australia. So, brave of me just going like, forget it, I'm gonna throw it all out there and hope that my talent will cut through. That's how I kind of created my first proper contact in the industry.
Yeah, totally. I definitely think just, I would just rock up to every hip hop gig that I could find out about and just was present, was there, was shooting everything at the start, just making myself known and, making friends with people just so people knew who I was. Like that was my way of people knowing who I was, is just being there, being part of the community, being part of the community that I wanted to be part of. So, being involved, supporting others, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like a lot of people will do for you or whatever, and like, that within itself can be tough, and it really like, it's hard because you can't just put it in a box, but it again comes back down to that thing. Like you've either got that thing, you've got that charm and that charisma, or you don't. Now that's not to say that you can't, like the charm and charisma can't be developed over time and through experience, Like when I was in high school, I used to get in fights all the time, like as in like because I would be the new person and I wasn't cool, like I was like the nerdy guy and an outcast or whatever. So I wouldn't say that like not a corona.
Bless you.
I wouldn't say that like, I inherently had this thing. Even DJing, I was not good at first at all, like really bad, but I loved it so much I just kept trying and kept trying and kept trying and kept trying, and eventually kind of broke through. But I think like doing internships is a great way to get your foot in the door. In my instance, like we're trying to get the DJ gig, I was like, I will DJ for free. And I did DJ for free for him for a couple of times, and then I'm like, I'm not DJing for free anymore.
Yeah.
You pay me, because I'm killing it. Like I'm doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Now, as a turn, it might take you 4 months before you're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
So you can't just like put your hand up after a couple of weeks and be like, well, pay me. You know what I mean? But I do think building connections, the best way to do it is to just put yourself out there and be willing to kind of do chump jobs for free and learn how to be engaging, charismatic, and make people remember you.
Yeah, totally. This talks a little bit to your questions, Sir Jack, just in terms of balancing making a name for yourself and then working on stuff potentially at the start that you're not as passionate about. I mean, for me, I was loving everything that I was doing, but I wasn't being paid for everything at the start. It was that balance of getting to a point where then you're confident, like you just said, okay, now that I know that I've proved myself is the time to be like, okay, I can start charging now, rather than just continually to work for free or get into that cycle that some people can never get out of and never know when to start charging. There's a point where you've got to value yourself. You've earned your stripes and you can put the value on your work.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. Is knowing your worth and not just kind of giving everything away for free forever. But there's no better than to do an internship or put yourself out and say I'm willing to do the copy if that's what it takes. But also like I just can't express enough. So much of it is your personality and how.
Yeah.
And it's not cool isn't the right word. It's just like how pleasant you are to be around.
Yeah.
Like,
people like working with people that they like to be around. I've said this so many times, even with touring, and people always want to know about, how do you get on a tour and stuff. It's like you have to be a person that people genuinely want to be around. Otherwise, they're not going to keep you around for work, especially not for touring. That personality is such a big aspect of it, I think.
Yeah, I think like, that I would be the first person to put my hand up and say that I'm guilty of nepotism in many respects, but at the time, the people that I do work with, so You know, it is what it is. Like, I would way rather be traveling around the world with people who I really, really dig and who are amazing at what they do than maybe getting somebody that's like.
Yeah, I think you're cutting out a little bit in starting to lose your feed a little bit, which is a bit shit. But anyway, I think we've nearly
Who cares?
finished. I think we can nearly say goodbye to you anyway. Kenzie just said, so pretty much don't be an asshole. I think that's...
Mafia said it. She summed it up in that word, personable.
Personable.
That's it.
Yes. I mean, have you met a more personable person than Mafia? Like, legit. She is the best.
100%.
She's the best to be around.
Hondo. Yeah.
I wanted to thank you so much for your time, Nate. That was so good. It was so great to chat to you, and there's so much amazing advice for people that are aspiring to be managers, which is really cool. And I know there's a lot of questions that people have been dying to ask for a long time, so that's very cool. I'm going to hang around for a bit, guys, after Nate leaves, so don't drop off the stream, but we'll say goodbye to Nate now. Enjoy the rest of your evening and crackling. Oh my god.
I love you guys.
Oh. It's...
I'm taking the piss.
Yeah.
I'm not seriously a dick. Like, I'm just having fun.
I wish you hadn't have said that, and
I'm
they
not
legitimately
a dick.
just thought you were the biggest. They're just like, that manager, far out. He just ate crackling the whole
I
time.
promise. I'm just playing with you guys. I'm just having some fun. I
talked-
hope you enjoyed it.
He talked about the bath and selling out the opera house.
That was true.
That was
true, and I'll own that shit. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was bossy as fuck. But yeah, I do hope you guys found it informative and helpful in some way. And for anybody out there who's aspiring as a musician or an artist manager or whatever, definitely just like tool yourself up, learn.
Yeah.
Like, really get good at what you do. And if you're dope at what you do, you will cut through. And also know that it's okay to fall on your face and try again.
We all have many times, so it's totally fine. Lots of love coming for you in the chat. Thank you so much for that, Nate. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your crackling. Give Joel a big hug for me. Hopefully see you guys soon.
Dakota, you gotta say goodbye.
Oh yeah, and Jenna will say
goodbye.
Bye, puppies. Bye, Dakota. I miss you so much.
Bye, gang.
See you, Nate.
Love you. Thanks for having me, Michelle. Bye-bye.
See you. Love you lots. Bye.
Ciao. Bye.
That was fun, guys. Thank you for hanging out for so much. Thank you for all the raiders that came in before. I didn't properly get to say hi. We often do interviews here on the stream, and this one's been a really great one with a manager that I work really closely with. He's a rules manager, also looks after M Phases and Tom Thum and Dylan Joel and One Above and a bunch of other really amazing people. So it was so good to talk to him. It was really cool. Yes, DJ Smiles Official, thank you so much for that raid. That was so cool. Really appreciate you bringing your crew here. That was just so dope. I know, can you believe, Benjamin? I hope you guys loved the chat. I wanted just to basically celebrate 6 months with you guys. Hang on. Wait. So that's not the one I wanted. I wanted the 6 months streaming.